Hello, lovely people. My name's Helen Noble, celebrant of Surrey and founder of Swan Song. I give you weekly doses of all things ceremony, whether that is tips, tricks, hints, guidance, support, pick my brains. You can find me on here, so hit the bell and subscribe, please. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram at celebrant of Surrey and my website, helen-noble.co.uk. So this week, I'm talking, how do you find your celebrant? So, well done, firstly, for deciding that having a celebrant-led ceremony is the way forward for you. A big thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Secondly, how do you find a celebrant that suits you? Well, actually, the same way you find every other supplier. It might be you've started on Pinterest and you're just making a board of all things wedding that you love, or funeral. It might be you're doing a funeral and you're designing a funeral for your loved one. And where do you start? Maybe Pinterest. So you're finding what you like. You're getting called and pulled to luxe or boho or country or chic. What is it? If it is anything, it might be you're going, I don't know what my style is. I don't know. I don't care if it's in a barn or in a hotel. I just want to get married to this person, which is great because actually it all comes down to who you're marrying. What is your wedding about? What is your union representing? So if you're not starting with style, start with love, even better. If you're not sure what you love other than this person, start a conversation of, well, what does a wedding look like to you both? Does it look like everyone together? Does it look like you guys eloping and just having a little ceremony with your witnesses or your best mates or your family? What does the wedding look like in your mind? Whether that's capacity, which is really useful for when you're venue hunting, because one of their first questions will be, how many and what's your budget? For a celebrant, it makes no bones to me whether I've got 12 people in the room or 212. Whatever is the capacity. If it's in a meadow and I've got a mic, fine. If we're in a fantastic venue, but actually outside is in the flight path, I will need a mic. But most of the time, I don't need a microphone because I can project. Anyway, so start with what you like and what you think your ceremony might look like. Then you start the old hunting, looking at people, just scrolling. If you're not on social media, maybe go to LinkedIn, which, is social media, but it's got a slightly different vibe to it. It might be you want slick, you want clean, you want knowledgeable. You're a super busy person. You're either a CEO or you're a VA to a CEO or you're an entrepreneur or you're just juggling a whole lot of everything. And let's throw in wedding planning to it, shall we? So actually, maybe you don't want someone that's going to be questions. And what would you like? And how can I help? And how about this? And questions. You're like, I don't know. I just want a wedding. So then maybe you want someone with a bit of experience that can take the lead and go, okay, well, what do we know we've already got? We know you want it to be based around family because that's what a wedding looks like to you. We know that you want it to be in this area because it's got some memories for you, or the parking's great, or whatever it is that maybe if you've chosen your venue, you chose your venue for. So work with what you already know. You know you want it to be about this, you want it to be with this person, it wants to be in this place. Then you can start going, okay, well, I like all those things because of what? Again, I know I say it, you're asking yourself all these questions, but take a moment to answer them because then it will give you the answers to the next question. So you're like, actually, okay, I want it to be in Surrey. So then most people do hit Google, celebrants in my area, celebrants in Surrey celebrants, whatever it is your search. And a few of us will pop up. I'm delighted that the word is getting out there, that there's more and more celebrants, which means there's more and more choice for you. The downside means it becomes increasingly overwhelming. So then how do you manage that overwhelm? Well, you do more of what you like. If you think, no, she seems quite certain, I like that certainty, she's going to give me answers, not questions, she's going to give me experience, not novice, then you go for that. And how do you know that you're getting that? Is that you start to look at the evidence. You go, okay, she's got her own website, she does blogging, maybe she does training, maybe I'm saying she, maybe he's won some awards, maybe they're on the list of the venue that you're at, maybe they're not. All celebrants are freelance. So they will be on various directories. Some celebrants aren't on directories at all because they just want to be found organically by their client or straight from the venue because they don't want to have a radius any larger than, say, 30 miles. So they will stick to the venues. So the venue might have a suppliers list. Most venues aren't massively strict on, it's usually the catering they're massively strict on. On the celebrants, most venues are like, oh yeah, we use that person. Oh, I've not heard that person, but that person sounds great, lovely, no problem at all. But it is useful to know that they have been recommended, or the testimonials, when you look at them, seem genuine. You're like, yeah, no, I can tell that's genuine. That's the kind of response, that's the transformation I want. That's how I want to feel at the end of the day. Those of you that have been following me know that I do ceremonies as a whole, funerals, weddings, namings, coming of age, 40th, whatever. And it's that transformation. You want to go from, and that's my hashtag, worry to wonder, because you want that transformation to go, wasn't that wonderful? You want a wedding to be wonderful. You want a wedding to be full of wonder. So from worry to wonder is something that's a real pillar of mine. It's really important. I want to get that transformation for people because that's one of my pillars. Because I think doing funerals, it's in my face every week that people may not remember what you say, but they remember how they made you feel. And if weddings don't make you feel so full of love, then there's something's gone wrong somewhere. But a celebrant-led ceremony is completely about you and the couple and that wonder and that love in that story. However, going back to why you've decided on a celebrant-led ceremony might then help you choose which celebrant to pick, because there are a couple of types. There are humanists. Most people have heard of humanists. The Humanist Society is a charity. They have their own doctrine and they will bring that to the table. If you're actively agnostic, if you think, yeah, it's just us, two people falling in love, having a great time, that is fantastic. And that is 100% their bag. For me, I'm an independent celebrant, so I am all yours. I belong solely to the client and I don't bring my own doctrine. My own doctrine, should I need to bring it, which I'm happy to, is that I will always make space for faith. So if you're having your wedding and you think, oh, do you know what, Uncle Jack's just a little bit gutted we didn't get married in a church. Can it feel a little bit churchy? Maybe we're going to have an organ, so that music gives you that church vibe. Maybe there's familiarity in that language or the way that the vows are written or said or call and response. I grew up in the Church of England, Anglican church, and I think a lovely church wedding's lovely. I love it. I'm all for a church wedding, but I'm not a vicar, so I can't marry you in church. I'm also not legally binding, so I can't marry you. I'm 100% ceremonial, but I do make space for faith should you wish to. Most of my couples do have some kind of cultural nod to faith or culture, whether it's from their upbringing, their partner's upbringing, their own spirituality. It might be they go, yeah, I do want to make space for faith, but I don't want to do it in a church or a temple or a gurdwara or anywhere else that will tell you what to say. But you do want a little bit of guidance. And you do know what that wedding will look like to you, and it will look a little bit like something, 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 something. And that's what you chat with your celebrant through. So when you are trying to find your celebrant, I would suggest you start with your answer to why you've chosen to have a celebrant-led wedding. And if you are actively agnostic and don't need to make space for faith, I would suggest maybe you want to start with the Humanist Society. But if you want to make space for faith and you want to have total control over the doctrine, and putting the content of what you solely want to put in there, then I would say start with the independent celebrants. I trained with the Fellowship of Professional Celebrants. I've worked with the Celebrant Directory. I'm on various directories because I quite like the outreach. My pillars, I like sustainability. I like supporting local suppliers. There is so much talent locally. I'm also quite aware of carbon footprint. So if you're thinking, oh, I want to have canna lilies, but it's the time of year for tulips. I can't actually remember if tulips and canna lilies are in season at the same time. But if they're not in season, then they are air miles and they're coming in, and that's not very sustainable or responsible when creating a wedding. So before actually you even look at any suppliers, what are your pillars? What's important to you as a person, as a way you want to live your life? Is it sustainability or responsibility, as well as, or instead of, or to the detriment of? What is the give and take? It might be style, energy, knowledge, experience, all those things. Obviously, I come with all those things: knowledge, experience, sustainability, accountability. You can always, I am accountable. You will find evidence of my 10 years of work, awards, training, blah, 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 blah. And I'm on directories. So I suppose this isn't just exclusive to ceremonies. I would say once you've decided you are going to get married, congratulations. Once you've decided, actually, I want a celebrant-led wedding, think about why that is. What was the problem? Was it like you're like, I don't want to get married in a church because I don't want it to be about everything as well as us. I just want it to be about us. And therefore, do you know what? I want to make space for faith because I did go to the church first. But actually, the problem I want solving is I want it all about us, with a bit of space for faith. Happy days, happy to do that. It might be you didn't want any of that. And actually, the problem is you're worried it's not going to have any soul and heart. So look at your values. Who's on your invite list? Is it all family? Is it friends? Is it friends from just this moment in time? And actually, what you're bringing is celebrating life in the now. Or is it from people you've known since you were teeny tiny? And you're like, actually, do you know what? I hold people. We stayed mates for like 20 years. And so then your value might be connection and community. So when you're looking at suppliers, look at their community. Who are they connected to? Does that celebrant mention the florist? Can you tell that the cake baker's worked with the celebrant before? Because as you go around the circuit, I suppose, you will find people connected to people. And then, like they say, you find your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. But it is knowing where to start. And I would start with, once you've done numbers and budget. I didn't even do budget. You have to start somewhere, don't you? I started with space. I want a big room because I want lots of people there. So start with what is your best thing, and then realize why it's your best thing, and then find more suppliers that celebrate that value of your best thing. For me, my pillars, worry to wonder. I'm all for that transformation. I want, weddings can be a worry, and I want you to just feel wonderful by the end of it. Getting that worry to wonder is really important. I think style is key. You want people to walk in and go, oh, this is the wedding of so and so. God, you can tell. Look at those touches. Look at that energy. Oh, that reading was spot on. What a nice vibe. That was so them. That was so them. What a great compliment. What a great compliment. And energy for me. So worry to wonder, style, and energy. They are my pillars, for example, of what I would want at a wedding and what I feel I bring to a wedding. And start with those. Look at other suppliers, because celebrants at the end of the day, are just another supplier, but we're at the heart of the day, and we're the reason everybody's coming together to celebrate your love at your wedding. So find a celebrant-led wedding. You're having a celebrant-led wedding, which is brilliant. But finding that celebrant that's right for you, the best way to do that is connection, to get on the phone, to get on Zoom, to get in person, to get them in front of you and go, do we sync? Are our energies matched? Are we coming from a similar place? Are they giving you what you need? Guidance, support, or whatever you need. Hopefully, a bit of guidance, bit of support, bit of creativity, bit of inspiration. But ultimately, for me, it's a pair of safe hands to help your wedding blossom into the wonderful thing that it's going to be. So good luck. Look at some directories. There is the UK AWP of wedding planners. They've got a great suppliers list. I'm on it. There is the Fellowship of Professional Celebrants. There is the Celebrant Directory. And there is also the list from your venue if you've already chosen your venue. I'm not very good at that one. I just sort of assume I'm on everyone's venue because I'll just go wherever I'm asked to go. I don't know where I'm officially on. I'm going to go check that out. That's my task for the week. Hope that was helpful. Good luck. I'm here for all things ceremonial. So hit the bell, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Take care.